Hello YouTube, this is Theodore again, and today I'm going to give you an update on my current physical media collection as of November 9th, 2025, when I am filming this. So since I made my last collection video, I have obviously moved my shelf and got a lot more different titles. So now I'm going to go through my Blu Ray and DVD collection, and now all of them are on one shelf, so that makes it nice. Starting off with the top, I have again the massive special edition Blu-ray box set of Gone with the Wind. It has a bunch of different actual items and telegrams and a bunch of cool items in there. And some of the other mementos I have is an old advertisement with Joan Crawford, Greta Garbo, a VHS of the Jeanette MacDonald, Nelson Eddy musical Maytime, a Barbie of I Love Lucy in the classic Vitamin and Vegemin episode, the Marx Brothers Castle Films container of This Is War, which is probably just a compilation from some of their movies, and then an original poster from It's a Wonderful Life I got for my birthday. I also have a poster of the 7-Year Itch and a still from All About Eve, which may have been in the collection of the original TCM host Robert Osborne. The original frame broke, but I got another frame for it. Alright, starting out with my Blu-ray shelf now. This is on the top shelf and it fits, and they all fit nicely here. We've got The Adventures of Robin Hood from 1938, one of the great classics. Alice in Wonderland, the 1933 live-action version. Anatomy of a Murder, the Jimmy Stewart vehicle with the Duke Ellington score. Got 3 Cary Grant titles in the Criterion Collection. All here, Arsenic and Old Lace, The Awful Truth, and Bringing Up Baby. Cabin in the Sky, this is an all-black musical with some great talent, including Duke and Louis Armstrong and Lena Horne. Camille, this is one of Greta Garbo's most famous vehicles. A Day at the Races, one of the Marx Brothers' best. Double Indemnity, the classic film noir, Barbara Stanwyck. The Enchanted Cottage, this is an underrated one that I was happy to get on Blu-ray. Executive Suite, this is another great all-star vehicle with Barbara Stanwyck and a bunch of other people in a big business story. Fantastic Mr. Fox, this is one of my all-time favorites, one that I watched on repeat growing up. Flamingo Road with Joan Crawford, one of her later vehicles. Idiot's Delight with Norma Shearer and Clark Gable. Another Wes Anderson stop motion, Isle of Dogs. This is one that I haven't opened yet, but I'm looking forward to watching. It's one I've seen countless times as well. King Kong from 1933, the classic version. And another King, this time it's King of Jazz, starring the Paul Whiteman Orchestra in an early 2-strip Technicolor musical review, which doesn't have much plot. These are all Criterions. The Lady Eve with Barbara Stanwyck, the classic comedy with Preston Sturges, one of the best. Leave Her to Heaven, the color film noir with Gene Tierney giving one of the spellbinding performances of all time. Then I've got 3 Looney Tunes. I've got the Looney Tunes Collector's Choice and the Collector's Vault, both from the Warner Archive. And then on this shelf, I've got the Looney Tunes Platinum, which this was out of print, and I somehow have this out of print set with a little booklet, but now it's in print again, they reused it. And the Marx Brothers, the Silver Screen Collection, I think this is a reprinting, but it has all 5 of their Paramount films, all the first 5, including Duck Soup. Murder at the Vanities, this is an interesting musical with Duke and his orchestra making an appearance. My Man Godfrey. This is an essential screwball comedy of the 30s starring William Powell, one of my favorite actors. A Night at the Opera, one of the other Marx Brothers vehicles. They're first at MGM, and I'm very happy to have this and A Day at the Races now. Northwest Passage, an interesting Spencer Tracy film, which, despite its epic grandeur, feels kind of stale. This is one that doesn't feel stale. This is one of my favorites. It's One Way Passage with William Powell and Kay Francis, giving terrific performances as two doomed lovers. The Philadelphia Story from 1940 with Cary Grant, Katharine Hepburn, and Jimmy Stewart, one of the all-time essential comedies. The Prince and the Showgirl. This is one of the earliest Blu-rays I got. It's Marilyn Monroe, and it's not one that I particularly like. Rhapsody in Blue. I just watched this recently. This is the George Gershwin biopic featuring over 2 hours of music and newly restored footage that the Warner Archive put together. Sadie McKee, an early Joan Crawford vehicle from 1934. It's also pretty good. Featured in Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. Saratoga, Jean Harlow's final film before her tragic passing with Clark Gable. Scarface. This is the Criterion Blu-ray and 4K. I don't have a 4K player yet. Maybe I will someday. But this is quite a shocking early classic. I've not seen the 80s version. And Scarlet Street. This is a terrific film noir, one that I really like, with Edward G. Robinson, Joe Bennett, and Dan Duryea. She's terrific. Some Like It Hot. This is an all-time essential comedy from Billy Wilder, made 1959. It's terrific. One of my favorites. And then this is another collection. It's the Soundies, the Ultimate Collection. This is another collection of music videos and certain things. I also have the new Criterion of This Is Spinal Tap, the Blu-ray. This is not usually the type of films I watch, but Spinal Tap I've seen multiple times and love. A Star Is Born, the original 1937 version with Janet Gaynor and Frederick March, one that is terrific, and the restoration looks incredible. Swing Time. This is the only Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers movies that is still only available on Blu-ray, so they should put more on. Sweethearts. This is also the only film of Jeanette MacDonald and Nelson Eddy on Blu-ray so far. It's in color, and the restoration they did was terrific. And Thank Your Lucky Stars. This is from 1943. This is an all-star World War II musical with a whole bunch of stars and a fun comedic plot. And finally, also one of my favorites, all 6 of the Thin Man films on Blu-ray in the complete Thin Man collection. I love all of these movies. Powell and Loy were perfect together, and it's just great. Moving on to my DVD collection. This is a little more, there's about one more shelf's worth of my Blu-ray collection. We have An Affair to Remember, An American in Paris, The Bad and the Beautiful, Best Foot Forward. This is one I have not watched yet, with Lucille Ball and Harry James. Boys Town, A Damsel in Distress, one of Fred Astaire's. This was, I think, his first movie without Ginger Rogers, and it is really fun. Don Juan, the original 1920s silent version with John Barrymore. Dreamgirls. This is weird to have on my shelf, but I'm a huge Beyonce fan, so I have this. Carefree, one of Astaire and Rogers' later vehicles. It's also fun. Camille, this is a repeat on my Blu-ray shelf, but I also first got the DVD, and maybe I'll try to get rid of this. Easter Parade, the classic Judy Garland and Fred Astaire film, their only pairing. It's really also fun. Father of the Bride, the original 1950 version with Spencer Tracy, Elizabeth Taylor, and Joan Bennett. Funny Face, the Audrey Hepburn and also Fred Astaire film. This is one that's also fun. Flesh and Fantasy. This is a really good supernatural anthology tale with Edward G. Robinson, Charles Boyer, Barbara Stanwyck, Betty Field. It's really good. And Gang's All Here. This is a good, solid 20th Century Fox wartime musical with the lovely Alice Faye and the King of Swing, Benny Goodman. Another musical, one of the Mickey Rooney and Judy Garland films, The Girl Crazy, one of probably my favorite of theirs. This is a Universal horror double feature of The Ghost of Frankenstein and The Son of Frankenstein, which I did not watch for Halloween. Grand Hotel. This is one of the early all-star vehicles, the first with Greta Garbo, John Barrymore, Joan Crawford, Wallace Beery, Lionel Barrymore. It's pretty good. This is a Marx Brothers double feature of their last two MGM films, Go West and The Big Store. And Going Hollywood. This is a film with Marion Davies with Bing Crosby. It was alright. And then on this shelf, we have The Gorgeous Hussy. This is a Joan Crawford film where she plays a daughter or an associate of Andrew Jackson's. And even though Robert Taylor's top billed, he died. He isn't in that too much. The Grapes of Wrath. I have it on my shelf, but I have not watched this classic as of filming this. Harvey. This is a fun Jimmy Stewart vehicle, one that I need to rewatch. Hollywood Hotel. This is another fun 1930s musical all with Benny Goodman. It's a Busby Berkeley with another cute cast. The Ice Follies of 1939. This is one of the Joan Crawford films that she made in the great year of 1939. It's one of her only pairings with Jimmy Stewart. This and The Gorgeous Hussy. And it's generally considered bad, but I still kind of liked it. The Irish and Us. This is a Warner Brothers vehicle with James Cagney, Pat O'Brien. It's pretty fun with an early Olivia de Havilland role. Imitation of Life. This is the two versions in one set. The 1934 original version with Claudette Colbert and Freddie Washington, and the 1959 version with Lana Turner, Sandra Dee. The Jazz Singer. This is the remake. This is the final result of the remake of the 1927 famous First Sound film, and it stars Danny Thomas and one of my favorite singers of this era, Peggy Lee. So that's why I have it. Laura, the classic film noir, one of the most essential with the great Gene Tierney again, the beautiful Gene Tierney. Lady Sings the Blues. This is the Diana Ross film where she plays Billie Holiday. It gets quite intense. Libeled Lady. This is one of the classic William Powell, Myrna Loy films, which also has Jean Harlow and Spencer Tracy. It's also terrific. Life Begins at 40. This is a Will Rogers vehicle. This is my first inkling of his style and persona, and I like to see more of his films. I Live My Life, yet another Joan Crawford MGM vehicle. This one with Brian Aherne and Frank Morgan. I Married a Witch. This is a classic Halloween comedy with the beautiful Veronica Lake and Frederick March. That's quite fun. Maytime. I showed you I decided to get the VHS of it, but I also have the DVD, which is how I watched this long Jeanette MacDonald and Nelson Eddy vehicle, and it's quite good. It makes me cry at the end. My Reputation, one of Barbara Stanwyck's Warner Brothers starring vehicles. It's quite good, though I may have to replace it. Night and Day. This is Cary Grant as playing Cole Porter with Alexa Smith. This is one that I think does not have a Blu-ray yet, that hopefully the Warner Archive will soon put out one. The Maltese Falcon, the classic detective film that everybody knows, with Humphrey Bogart and Mary Astor. This is the 3-disc special edition with 2 additional previous remakes. Once Upon a Honeymoon. This is Cary Grant and Ginger Rogers in a fun definitely World War II era comedy, which has a lot of different themes around the Nazis, and it features some interesting scenes. Pillow Talk, the classic Doris Day and Rock Hudson vehicle from 1959. It's great. Pinup Girl, one of Betty Grable's vehicles, the great pinup star of the 1940s. This one's okay. Plymouth Adventure, this is the film about the crossing of the Mayflower with Spencer Tracy and Gene Tierney and other cast, made in the early 50s. The Rains Came with Myrna Loy and Tyrone Power, also made in 1939. Red Dust, one of the Clark Gable and Jean Harlow pairings. Also, the first time I watched Rhapsody in Blue was this DVD, which I'll probably get rid of. This is interesting. This is an RKO feature of 2 rarely seen musicals, Old Man Rhythm and To Beat the Band. Roberta, another one of Astaire and Rogers films, vehicles. Another Marx Brothers double feature of one is RKO and one is MGM. Room Service and At the Circus. Star of Midnight. This is pairs William Powell and Ginger Rogers in a very fun murder mystery that had me intrigued. A Stolen Life, one of Betty Davis's most underrated vehicles. I still like it. Maybe not as much as I used to, but I still like it. A Summer Place from 1959. The famous dun 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 theme is from this movie, and this was a pretty good movie. I liked it a lot. Also recently got the DVD for Sunset Boulevard, the essential Billy Wilder film about the fading star. Test Pilot, one of my favorite underrated classic films with Spencer Tracy, Clark Gable, and Myrna Loy. It's an aviation story. This Woman is Dangerous. This was Joan Crawford's last film at Warner Brothers. The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, the classic Humphrey Bogart vehicle with Walter Huston and directed by his son. Unfaithfully Yours. This is a Preston Sturges film that I got sealed and I have not watched yet. I Wake Up Screaming with Betty Grable. This is one of her only dramatic roles in this good film noir. Weekend at the Waldorf. This is a comedy remake of Grand Hotel, which is not as good and is kind of stale. White Heat. This is one of the best films I've seen in a while. It's James Cagney in playing the gangster, and it's quite something. A Woman in Red. This is a 1930s Barbara Stanwyck vehicle. I would like to rewatch it. Wonder Bar, another Busby Berkeley film, one of the underrated ones with Al Jolson and company. And Yankee Doodle Dandy, another James Cagney vehicle, one of his most famous, playing George M. Cohan. Alright, moving on to my collection shelf. This is my DVD collection shelf, and I'll say each of the titles that are in it, and these are also in alphabetical order. So the first small collection we got is the Abbott and Costello Collection, Volume 1. It has 8 films in it, including One Night in the Tropics, Buck Privates, In the Navy, Hold That Ghost, Keep Him Flying, Ride 'em Cowboy, Pardon My Sarong, and Who Done It. And I've got 2 Alfred Hitchcock collections. First is the Essentials Collection, featuring 5 of his most essential movies: Rear Window, Vertigo, North by Northwest, Psycho, and The Birds. I still haven't watched The Birds yet, actually. And then I got this massive Alfred Hitchcock, the Signature Collection, which includes 9 films: Strangers on a Train, Dial M for Murder, Foreign Correspondent, Suspicion, The Wrong Man, Stage Fright, I Confess, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and North by Northwest. That is definitely the biggest box set that I have, and one that is quite hefty on the shelf. All right, and then I have the Alice Faye collection. This is Alice Faye, one of the top movie musical stars at Fox, a personal favorite and personal crush of mine, if you call it. This includes 4 of her films: Lillian Russell, On the Avenue, That Night in Rio, and The Gang Is All Here. Sticking with musicals, we've got the legendary Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers in this DVD box set, which includes Top Hat, Swing Time, Barclays of Broadway, Follow the Fleet, and Shall We Dance? Next up, I've got 3 Bette Davis collections. This is the first one. This is the Bette Davis Volume 1, which includes 5 films, including Mr. Skeffington, Dark Victory, The Letter, The Star, and Now Voyager. All right, I like this packaging much better. This is the Volume 2 collection, Bette Davis Volume 2. I really like the packaging on this one, and wish that I had the Volume 1 in its original packaging, but at least I have the Volume 2. And it includes Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, Jezebel, The Man Who Came to Dinner, Marked Woman, Old Acquaintance, and a documentary made around the time of the DVD release called Stardust, the Bette Davis Story. It's a good documentary, one that I would recommend for Bette Davis fans. All right, and then finally with Bette, we have the Bette Davis Volume 3 DVD. This also includes 5 of her films, 5 that I hadn't initially seen before when I got this collection. Includes The Old Maid, All This in Heaven 2, The Great Lie, In This Our Life, Watch on the Rhine, and Deception. And then this is a single DVD of another Beyonce DVD. This is her live show, The Beyonce Experience. Again, I'm a big old movie buff, but in the middle of it, I still love Beyonce. All right, another 20th Century Fox musical star collection. This one, Betty Grable, and it includes 4 of her films. It's Down Argentine Way, Moon Over Miami, My Blue Heaven, and The Dolly Sisters. And then we've got Bogey and Bacall, the great pairing of Bogart and Bacall, which includes their 4 films that they made: To Have and Have Not, The Big Sleep, Dark Passage, and Key Largo. And I still haven't watched Key Largo as of the time I am recording this, but I hope to soon. And then we've got the Busby Berkeley collection, which includes 6 discs, and includes his most famous 42nd Street, Gold Diggers of 1933, Footlight Parade, Dames, Gold Diggers of 1935, and a disc which I think is just a compilation of all his greatest musical numbers that he directed and staged. And then we've got, and I've had for a little while, Clark Gable. This is the Clark Gable Signature Collection. It includes another 5 of his films: Boomtown, China Seas, Dancing Lady, Mogambo, San Francisco, and Wife vs. Secretary. 2 of them have Jean Harlow, and the other 2. All right, that's my first shelf. All right, moving on down to my second shelf here. We have got another single layer collection, or single case collection. Carole Lombard, the Glamour Collection. This includes 6 of her films: Man of the World, We're Not Dressing, Hands Across the Table, Love Before Breakfast, The Princess Comes Across, and True Confession, the last being my personal favorite in the set. Then we've got another live concert show, this time from the Duke. This was made a few years before he died. Includes some of his classic players that were with him for a long time, or with him for a good number of years. And it's cool. I like the concert. And then a classic show. I've got the Honeymooners series. This is, I think, the main TV series that was like 24 minutes that only lasted one or two seasons, I think, but still remains classic and still great. I enjoyed watching it earlier this year. Jazz. This is the film from Ken Burns, the 10-part series on the history of jazz. Very cool to see. Another single case collection. This is Jeanette MacDonald and Nelson Eddy, two movie musical stars, very popular in the 1930s. This includes some of their most essential. Includes Naughty Marietta, Rose Marie, Maytime. I already have the single DVD of Maytime, and Girl of the Golden West. And then I've got, also from the Warner Archive collection, an actual collection of Jean Harlow in this big box set. This is the Jean Harlow 100th Anniversary Collection. This includes 7 of her movies, including Bombshell, The Girl from Missouri, Reckless, Riff Raff, Susie, Personal Property, and Saratoga. I think I said all of those, but it's a cool set. I really like the packaging. Same with the Joan Crawford collection, which also has a good packaging. I bought it new. This includes Humoresque, Possessed, Mildred Pierce, The Women, and The Damned Don't Cry. Some of our greatest films. And then I've got Volume 2 of the Joan Crawford collection. This is a DVD set I was really had wanted for a while. And when I finally got it, I was excited. But then I grew to discover that almost all of the discs, save for 2, have playback issues during the film. So they either scratch or skip or stop entirely, and I still need to email Warner Brothers about this. Then we've got the TCM DVD collection of Judy Garland films, The Harvey Girls, For Me and My Gal, Summer Stuck, and In the Good Old Summertime. This is one of those TCM 4-film favorites that they were putting out. So yeah, fun to have that. Then the Lucy Desi collection. This is three films that they did together. Theatrically released films that they did. It's all 3 of their starring films, including 2 that they made during I Love Lucy that aren't related to the show. And their first one that they were in, called Too Many Girls. Yeah, I'm glad nice to have that. Then the Lucy Show. This is the first season of the Lucy Show. I bought this first and was watching it. This was the show that she made after I Love Lucy. Then I've got the 7th season of I Love Lucy, the Lucy Desi Comedy Hour season, which includes all of the 13 hour-long episodes that they did later. Then I've got the complete Lucy Show series. This is all of the shows that ran from like 1962 to 68, I think, in this set. And I don't need to name all the episodes because that would take me a while. All right. And then also continuing with the Glamour collection, like the Carole Lombard one I have the Mae West Glamour collection. This includes 5 of her films. Let's see, Night After Night, I'm No Angel, Going to Town, Go Western Man, and My Little Chickadee. I've only watched a few of those so far, but I'm looking forward to hopefully watching more. And then I've got one of the best packaged DVD sets, I think, the Mickey Rooney and Judy Garland collection. It's in this very nice silver packaging, and it has the movies, a bunch of photos, and even a little booklet, and very nice. When I first got it, some of it was missing, and a couple of the movies had playback issues, and only one of these has playback issues, and I showed it to you earlier. And then we've got another great set of my favorite on-screen couple, Myrna Loy and William Powell. This is all of their non-Thin Man movies that they made together. A couple of them are dramas. Manhattan Melodrama and Evelyn Prentice are both have Manhattan Melodrama they made actually right before Thin Man, but the first two are dramas, but the other three are terrific comedies, including Double Wedding, I Love You Again, and Love Crazy. They're all really fun and show the two of them outside of their portrayals of Nick and Nora, and kind of show them as what a regular couple could, falling in love in a couple of these movies, actually. All right. This is the, all right, so a little more modern now. I have the Shrek 4 movie collection. This is, of course, everybody knows Shrek. It's a great franchise. The first and second ones are great. I like them all. I've seen these over the years, over a couple of years, and they're still such fun. I rewatched them somewhat recently. Then a Tarzan collection. This is all 6 of the MGM films that they made as a franchise. I haven't watched all of them. I've only watched a couple of them, and they were months ago, so I need to actually sit down and watch this whole franchise. And then finally, in the DVD box sets, I have the Warner Brothers and the Homefront collection. This is 3 all-star World War II musicals made to boost morale, with all stars playing themselves. The movies are pretty fun. I still haven't watched this first one up here. This is The Army, but these other 2 are fun. And then this shelf is empty, save for Bugs Bunny, and actually this originally came on the Mickey Rooney Judy Garland set. This is the little thing that came off it, and then that came on it when it's sealed, and then you can take it off, and it has that nice photo of them. And then down here's a shelf for my library DVDs, and 2 ones that I would like to get rid of. So those are the library ones. And yeah. So that was my DVD and Blu Ray collection as of November 2025 when I am filming this. Obviously I will add more, but it's nice to have a record of what it once looked like at different periods of time. And yeah, I hope to I'll probably do more updates and more videos on the stuff that I have purchased. And yeah, thank you to whoever is watching and stick through this. Goodbye.